Hello people, artists. Today I'm going to do another video on how to paint a snake. And we're starting off with cobalt blue, permanent violet, and this one which is burnt sienna. And I use these, you can use these two colors to make black. I'm going to add permanent violet into it, just for fun. So as you probably know, if you've been following me, I never use black, Mars black. It's just a really dead color. I prefer to mix my own blacks, and it just gives it a richer look to it. Okay, now that it's dry, I'm going to go ahead and paint the pattern that I see on the snake, which is like a light cream color. There's two ways I can do this. One, I can actually go ahead and paint all the little parts of the snake that are that cream color, or I can paint the whole section of it a cream color and then go over it with black color to bring out the shapes. Right here. That's Naples yellow, that's Titan buff. Like I told you, I'm going to paint the whole thing this color. Not the whole head, but where the patterns are. So basically what I do is I look at the whole thing and see one huge pattern. Some of the scales, they protrude out from the pattern. So I'm going to paint that in there. Like this. I'm using a filbert brush, which is nice because I can turn it sideways and do detail work. Now before I go and paint the pattern in the yellow and the cream areas, I'm going to put the shadow work of the cream area. Okay, so now I'm using the same dark color I used for the blocking end of the head, and I'm pretty much going to copy what I see on the photo. Starting here, I'm painting the black pattern. And that's going to bring out the scale detail. At this point, I just sort of start making my own little pattern. Once you get the picture of what it looks like, you can sort of just start making your own pattern. It's like brick, you get or it's like roof tiles. That's what it looks like. Titan buff to get more like a gray color, because the light's hitting there, and because the light's hitting there, the dark is not that black, not as dark as it is down here. So I'm going with a grayish color. And I'm going to go in here and work on some more of the shadow color. I'm going to emphasize more of the shadow, just to be darker. And just kind of be careful because you don't want to work too fast when you do the shadow here. For the brightest part of the cream color, I'm using titanium whites and Titan buff. So this bump here is too much. I see more streamline. So this is how we artists fix stuff. We go in here and make it less pronounced. You notice how you get the clean line? So that's something you can do if you don't want to see a rough edge. You go over it with white. You get a nice clean line. Make sure it's watered down. Oops. It's important that you water it down so you can get some thin lines. There we go. That's good. And if I still have the black color, I can fix it there. I'll start here. Just drag the brush across. Oh man, need more paint. Let's do it again. There we go. Okay, now to paint the patterns on the black part of the snake, I used mostly titanium white with a touch of ultramarine blue because it's a really strong color, just a little bit of that, and a touch of burnt umber to bring down the saturation, because if you use the blue, it's very saturated, and the brown mutes it a little bit so it's not so blue. And you end up with this color that I'm about to put here. I think it needs more blue. So that's the blue color. And I'm going to start putting it where I see it. In some areas here. And there's a nice big scale that comes up this way. And another one over here. Now this is the first pass. There'll be more work. There's more work to be done after this. Little scales back here. Now this is the opposite idea of what I said earlier. You can actually paint in the scales or the patterns, which I usually do. This is where you take liberties and do your own little scale work. I'm not going to copy the scale how it is over there. It'd be too crazy. There's like a big meaty area right here where I can see all kinds of scale work going on. Because there are brighter parts to this blue. There are parts that are brighter. And I'm gonna go ahead and do that right now. And usually around the edges. On the edges of this is where it's brighter. Okay, so now I'm going with straight titanium white. These are for the brightest bright spots on the snake. Like I said earlier, we can put a bounce light in here for fun. And I could go with that use that same gray color I just used right now. I'm going to try that. There, and if you want to color balance this, I think I mentioned that many times. I'll just water down that same shade slate blue I was using and water it down and put it here. King snake. You could also put a little highlight there. I'm going to use with go with a reddish color and a little bit of Titan buff. For some reason I want to see a little red there. I don't know why, but here we go. You can even put it in here. You know, have fun. And then blend some away. So we get a little reddish from here and there and there. Anyways, fun stuff. Well, thank you for giving this idea of painting this snake. And here's a straight-on view of the snake head. You can see more of the details. I'll just zoom out so you can, because I have the camera at an angle, it looks funny. But this is a straight-on shot. So, anyways, see you next time.